Okay, so next we're going to take our now glued together modular arrowhead and we're going to apply some duct tape to help secure the foam to the modular shaft and also to protect it from wear and tear. So we're going to take our roll of duct tape here, loosen up a bit, and we're going to start rolling around the arrowhead, and I want to start about halfway down the tip, so it's about an inch of foam that doesn't have any tape on it up here. And as I start to pull this around, I am putting it kind of tight. I want to get that top arrowhead to compress so that it's nice and flush with the rest of the foam. Once I've gone around once like this, now I'm going to change the angle a little bit so I can start spiraling down the entire arrowhead. And I am going tight now because I really want to make sure that that foam is as tightly bonded to that plastic tube as it can be. I get nearly to the bottom. And I'll just twist that off. Get it really tight. Great. Now the arrow is going to be protected from wear and tear by the tape. The foam won't get as damaged as easily. And it's nice and secure on that shaft. It's not got any real wobble to it. So the next thing we're going to do is add our cloth cover. To make that a little easier, I'm going to cut some little strips of tape. All right, so I'm going to center the arrowhead on the cover. And now I just need to pull it up on its flat sides and tape these pieces on. There we go. Now to finish securing the cover, I like to spiral the cloth around. So what I'll do is pull on these corners and then fold them over.
Sheet it, stroke, sheet it.
See, just like that. Carefully holding them in place as I do. Until I've got all four pieces, all four corners pulled around like that. Now going in the same direction, and again I'm using the hockey tape, but there's no reason why you can't use duct tape. I'm going to start right where that tape is underneath the cloth. I want to keep that top inch of the arrow to be nothing but cloth and foam. That's going to make a really nice, safe, soft striking surface. The tape would make it too hard. So I just go ahead and wrap that around. Once I've gone around once, I change the angle again and spiral down the shaft. Now, I am going to put one more piece of tape that is sort of a safety concern on here. And that's, I want to put one more tight piece right at the base where these other tapes have met. Again, you could use half a strip of duct tape here. And I usually go around about twice with that. Okay. All right, so now we've effectively made our modular arrowhead. Now we just need to attach it to the shaft and get that ready and safe for Dagorhir rules. So I'm going to take my shaft. When I first put it on, it's pretty loose. Even if you're using an aluminum arrow, especially if you're using a graphite arrow, you're going to find that the shaft is narrower than the hole in that pipe. That's fine. We're going to pad that out in a second so that we don't get this rattle. The rattle's not an unsafe thing. It's not going to get through that penny in the plastic inside, but it does scare the weapons checkers. So we're going to solve that problem right now. Again with our duct tape. You don't need to use a full strip. You can just use a half. And we're going to treat it just like we did the plastic shaft with the penny. We're just going to roll that on. So now I've built it up so it's just going to barely fit inside that tube. I'll go ahead and insert it in. No more rattle. Okay, so now we're going to attach the duct tape to attach the modular head to the shaft. I'm going to start with the tape right behind the arrowhead. Come around, and now angle it down. And I'm going to keep rolling until I get past that end right there. Perfect. And now that's nice and secure on the shaft. Now, mostly for aesthetics, want to make it look good, I'm going to cover that duct tape up now with a little more hockey tape. Now there's one other thing we have to do to this arrow to make it safe for Dagorhir, and that's to add the draw stop. According to the Dagorhir rules, our draw stop has to be 28 inches from the back of the arrow. So I'm just going to measure out to 28 inches. Right there. And I like to use electrical tape for this purpose, and I usually like to use a bright color like red or yellow or white so that there's more contrast between the grass where you're going to lose your arrows. It just makes them a little easier to spot. So I'm just going to mark that right at 28 inches. And you have to just keep wrapping it around until it builds up a little shelf that is going to be farther than you want your arrow to go in the bow. So you stop drawing at 28 inches. All right, that looks like a good draw stop. Cut that off. Now, one final step, this isn't necessary, but I like to do it because it makes my arrows last a little bit longer, is a lot of times when you're in the heat of combat and drawing fast, you don't always draw your arrow correctly, so that one of your fletchings might come off on the bow as it goes by. To secure your fletching so you don't have to worry about that as much, I just like to take the electrical tape and carefully add a little reinforcement right here. It just helps your arrows last a little bit longer. And now I have a perfectly safe Dagorhir arrow. The one thing I want to add to it is to put my own personal symbol. Again, with a Sharpies work great, or any sort of marker. I want to put that on the head of my arrow. I'm going to double check that I've got the orientation of the arrow so my symbol is the right way up when it's on the string. So I see that that's up. And now I can just draw my own symbol. Some people just put their names, or they put their unit. Any of that's fine. Take as much time, put as much detail as you want. And there it is. One completed Dagorhir arrow with a Best Dag Stuff modular head. Happy shooting.